What's going on, guys? So today is a bit of an interesting day. I have been trying to hunt down underground kind of utilities or water and electrical on the property since we got it. And I want to be able to mark everything before we dig anything because I don't want to tear up any lines that are needed. But we have water right back here, and we traced the pipes back through here and back this way. We also traced an electrical line over here, and we're trying to find again where everything's at so we can mark it so I don't hit it if I'm going to be digging. Now here's something that's kind of interesting. So I know that folks have different techniques for trying to identify lines underground. One of these techniques is using these superstitious rods called dowsing rods. It's kind of funny if you see them work, because I actually bought a set of them just to see if I could truly find water underground. Now the thing is there's well water under the ground all around here. So there's water underground, but that water is at about 85, 90 feet. And then you have to go much, much deeper, about 100 feet deeper than that if you want to get to really good well water. But, if you're trying to find just pipes underground, especially pipes that have, relatively small diameter, not much water flowing through it, dowsing rods, the science behind it, where I guess the flow of water can dictate where they are, doesn't really work in that specific instance because, again, there's not a lot of flowing water. But again, I don't really know what science is truly behind dowsing rods working at all. So what we did instead, because my attempt to try and use the mystical dowsing rods failed, we're drilling holes in the ground. And I'm using an auger bit. It's actually the same auger bit that I have for digging holes in the gopher mounds so I can put the traps in. But we are digging these holes and kind of tracking whenever we find the pipe. And then when we get to where we believe a junction might be, such as right here, we dig more holes and more holes until we can find where the pipe terminates to. Now, we lost the trail right here, and we haven't been able to pick it back up. So we kept digging, and unfortunately, we have no idea where this pipe is going. It might cut this way, it might cut this way, not sure, but I definitely need to find out because, again, I don't want to risk damaging anything underground if I don't have to. But that's not what the point of today's video is all about. Hang tight, I'll be right back. All right, so before we kick this video off, I want to talk about today's video sponsor, and that is RV SnapPads. Now you can see I've had SnapPads on our RV ever since we got it. We put them on our last RV. I've seen them on travel trailers. They work well for tongue jacks. Basically, it's this huge block of recycled rubber. Right, I believe they use old tires to make these things. You lower your gear onto them, they snap in place, and they provide a wider footprint protection for your SnapPad, especially if you're going to be on gravel or asphalt or anything like this. And at the same time, it's going to provide a little bit of dampening between the ground and your RV. This thing is super, super thick, very robust, very, very easy to install, and it's one of those no-brainer things that, I naturally put on our RV when we get it. So very, very cool. Again, big shout out to the folks over at RV SnapPads for sponsoring this video, and my sponsors over at etrailer sell this product. So definitely check it out in the link in the description. So what's going on, guys? It is an absolutely gorgeous day. Nice and overcast, kind of the way I like it, because you get some respite from the sun with this really cloudy sky. In today's video, I'm going to give you some updates on what we've done here with the RV on the property. And to be honest with you, it's turning out to be a much, much better investment than we even originally thought, just because we now have the ability to truly camp out here. We have the ability to allow friends and family to camp out here. We have the ability to entertain another RV out here, but not everything has been absolutely great. And let me give you one example of something that hasn't been. So this is that 100-foot slip that we built here. It's 15 feet wide, it's 100 feet long, and it was 2 sections of this material, this geotextile fabric that we purchased. This is really made for more of a stability type application versus like weed control. And if you look at it, you can kind of tell weeds would probably be able to grow through it pretty easily, as they are. But the reason why we use this is to stabilize this reclaimed asphalt that we put on top of it to keep it from pushing into the sand beneath it. So it's accomplishing that, but what we're having a problem with is the grass growing through it. So we've applied weed killer, and you can actually see the weed killer and the grass killer that we've put right here. and we spray it on, and it's actually killed a lot of the grass, but I guess it doesn't get to the roots of some of this other grass, so we still have a lot of grass growing. You can see the mixture of dead grass as well as growing grass. But I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this, how I'm going to execute on this. I want to keep it very rustic looking. I want to keep it very country looking. So, you know, I may just keep killing the grass or cutting it down, or maybe even put a lot more reclaim on top of it to try to deal with it that way. But that's not the only thing we've done out here. So we also have the septic system now in place. So the septic tank is right over here. It's a 1,000-gallon tank. It has, I believe, we're 100 or 150 foot drain field off the other end. It is a traditional gravity-fed non-aerobic septic system, and that's specifically what our septic guy recommended. So that's what we went with. Cost us $6,000 for everything. We have about an 85-foot run from the clean out over here where the RV is currently plugged into to the actual tank, but the second clean out we put right here. And the reason why we did this is because we can have 2 RVs out here, which is really nice. So whenever my father brings his RV out, or if we have guests that come over, we still have plenty of room here, plenty of runway, or plenty of slip here to be able to put another large fifth wheel if we want, have another sewer connection right here, and we have a 50 amp connection on the pole. So we'd probably disconnect ours, run it off of solar, or just run it off of 110 or 30 amp while whoever is parked here is using our 50 amp connection. We also have water out here, but right now I do not like how the water is ran. You know, one of the goals we've had is to kind of identify where all underground services are out here, just so we know what not to, you know, tear into. And because this property is very old, you know, there's an old septic system somewhere over there, there's old electrical lines. We actually ran into some old electrical lines underground over here. There's plumbing that runs out to the back here. We have another well right here. So the way we have this ran right now is we have the deeper well, or the fresh water, coming in from way over here to the RV. We have this well, which is a shallow well. It's 85 feet, and this one's running to the front for irrigation. And that's pretty much how we have it ran. So we have 3 100-foot hoses that are connecting from this pressure tank all the way up there, so we can actually irrigate the sod that we put in place using well water back here, basically the stuff that you're not going to drink. And then we have, again, water running from way over here all the way back here, and we've been able to identify some of the plumbing lines leading back here, but we're still kind of working on that. And then there's plumbing that leads to the trough. So the horse trough actually has plumbing that comes off the side of the house over here, and there's another one right here which also feeds from the well over there. So this was a complete standalone setup. There was nothing tied into it. And I'm sure the reason for that is because it was mainly designed for irrigation, perhaps. It's got a 500-gallon holding tank on it. But for irrigation, it's been working really, really well. The sod is coming out great. It's rooting very well. I know some folks thought that we might have challenges with that. Anyways, back to the topic. So we have fresh water from back here, clean fresh water, running over here. And this feeds into this little makeshift stand I have with the bib so I can feed water into the RV. And then I have a splitter right here which gives me the ability to have a little water hose, so we can spray things off when we're out here, and that actually comes in really, really handy. Right now I have the water to the RV actually shut off. I don't like to keep it pressurized if I don't have to. Back here we have our 50 amp connection and a 110 there. I might add a 30 amp connection to it as well, but we wired it so we would have that capability if I wanted to. You can see I have the Power Defender 50 amp version of it there. Even though I have an onboard surge guard on the actual RV, we kind of have a second one here just because we'd want this one to fail before the one in the RV fails, because the one in the RV takes a bit more time to get to if you needed to service it. Right here we have a timer, and this is for some of the lights that I have mounted up here on the pole, and it has a photo optic cell, so the lights come on when it's dark and come off when it's light outside. But I can also go through different settings on there, so I can turn them off if we don't want them on, if we're going to sleep, or if, you know, if somebody just doesn't want that much light out here. So very, very easy to work with. It's all low voltage stuff to the lights, and it's just a regular 110 that goes into this GE power box that we have. Have the 50 amp cable right here, plugged right into the back of the RV. Don't really have a need for this out here anymore. You guys probably saw the video where we essentially manhandled all of the nastiness from the holding tank into this, and then we drug this over to a clean out and dumped it in there. But yeah, this is far more convenient. I do need to put a sewer hose holder up there, something that works a little bit better. Have the tires all covered over here. I come through here about once every other week and I spray for bugs, spray for ants, spray for wasps, anything like that. But again, what's really nice about this now is that we have full hookups. You know, that's kind of the key, and we'll have even better full hookups once I'm able to trench the actual plumbing from over there to the RV, and then I can trench the well over here to the irrigation. So I'm going to destroy a bit of this beautiful ranch grass in the process of doing it, but it will certainly make things a little bit nicer, a little bit more cosmetically appealing, and lower the risk of damaging one of these hoses with the lawnmower, because every time I come through here with the lawnmower, I have to kind of move everything out of the way. You probably saw that we moved this rustic, old, overbuilt picnic table out here. This is a 12-foot long picnic table. So it's a very long picnic table. I don't know if you can tell from the actual video here, but super robust. I simply put the fork attachment on the front of the tractor and picked it up and brought it out here, and it's really nice. So it gives you a nice place to sit. We have to weed eat around all this whenever we're ready to use it, but it turned out really nice. Anyways, you know, everything is coming along nice out here. Now, I know a lot of folks are gonna say, you know, if you have this set up like this, do you ever plan on taking the RV out? And we still plan on following our original travel schedule this year. It's gonna take us out, I think I said 16 times. So we're still going to use it. We're going to use it quite a bit. But what's really nice is the fact that, you know, this is just an absolutely beautiful area out here. And if we ever just want to walk to the RV and light a fire and cook something out here, we have that ability. The only thing I'm missing out here, which hopefully I'll be able to remedy soon, is putting a barbecue pit. We have the little fire pit out here that I put on the extra pavers that we had from the other fire pit, but I'd love to put kind of a park style barbecue grill in over here just to be able to use this as the ultimate entertaining area where you can bring a bag of charcoal out and cook some steaks or cook some hot dogs or hamburgers and just really enjoy it. And you know, whenever we have people that stay out here, it's also going to be nice for them to have a true RVing experience, a true camping experience, but with the luxuries of a full hookup RV park, but with kind of that rustic country feel and vibe that a lot of people like to look for, especially when they want to get away from things. And what's nice again about the lighting is the lighting's optional for whoever's here. So if they want lighting out here while they're cooking, while they're entertaining, while it's getting late, they can light the fire pit, they can light the lights up there. But when they want to turn everything off, they just click one button and everything shuts off. But that's what we have going on, and we're real happy with it. I mean, this is just absolutely a great setup. What's really nice about this as well is that when you are camping and you're going out RVing, you're hunting for that perfect spot. You're hunting for that place that's beautiful, that is quiet, that's away from everything else. You're hunting for maybe a resort that's not so quiet, maybe with a lot of people moving around, a lot of commotion, a lot of activity. And, you know, this provides us kind of everything that we're looking for. And it wasn't terribly expensive to do all this. Like I've said in a previous video, the cost of this property is actually less than what I was paying for the storage facility each month for the trailers. Everything that we had out there, plus the power on the RV. And I had those 2 slips so I could shoot videos out there. And those 2 spots cost me over $600 a month before electricity. So yeah, we're saving some money. At the same time, you look at things like this, you look at the water connections, all this stuff, you look at the fact that it's a well, we're not spending much money keeping it out here, and it's really, really nice, and it gives us that flexibility we're looking for. You know, I have to deal with the fact that it is out in the sun. I'm considering putting up a shade structure until we can build a barn. But at the same time, I don't know how long I'm going to have the RV that I actually have to worry about it being out here. You know, it's going to be one of those things where I take care of it. We have water out here. I can get up on the roof of it and clean it off and condition it, do the things that I need to do. I have great visibility to it. I can come out here whenever I want and clean it off and inspect things. It's not out here just rotting and dying, but it gives me that ability to enjoy it and have fun with it and kind of use it in this environment. Because if we do build a shade structure for it, a carport or an RV shed or something for it, it's going to take some of that away. You know, and there's people that camp all over the country and they keep their RVs out all the time. So, you know, I understand the damage that UV can cause, but as long as you take care of it, you do the right things, you look for things as they potentially are happening and resolve them, then you can have an RV that lasts quite some time. Anyways, guys, just wanted to do this really quick update on everything out here. Once we got the picnic table out here, I really was excited to do this video. We have everything we need to be able to camp out here indefinitely, and that is super awesome. Anyways, guys, please leave a comment below. I'd love to know what your thoughts are. You know, we're not trying to brag about any of this stuff. It's just showing you guys content, right? It's showing you guys what we've been doing, what we've been up to, pretty much like any YouTube creator, I guess. But I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.